Om Shanti. Baba in the Murli today says that you have to keep reminding yourself that you are a soul claiming your inheritance from Baba. Yes, so do you believe, do you stay in the awareness that you are a soul? Yes, how many of you do stay in the awareness that you are a soul? If you stay in the awareness that you are a soul, then you will behave very differently during the day. Yes, sometimes people say, how does it matter what we believe? But what you believe reflects in how you behave. What you believe determines how you behave. And this is why Baba says, when you are always aware that you are a soul claiming your inheritance from Baba, then you will behave in a manner which reflects that you are more interested in ensuring that you stay peaceful, loveful, pure, happy, powerful, blissful, and you act knowledgefully. And when you are not in the awareness that you are a soul, then you get caught up in, loss and gain, fame and defamation, success and failure. So somebody appreciates you, you get caught up in that. Somebody defames you, you get caught up in that. Because it is the consciousness that determines the behavior. So this is why Baba says, always keep reminding yourself that you are a soul. And when you keep reminding yourself that you are a soul who has to go back, and you are here to accumulate what you need to take with you in order to be eligible to go back. Yes, so we cannot go back until we become pure, until we come back to our power. So Baba says, when you know you are a soul, when you stay in the awareness that you are a soul, you will be interested in maintaining your purity, your peace, your love, and also increasing it by taking from Baba, by being in Baba's remembrance. So with each passing day, are you becoming more peaceful, happier? Are you becoming purer, more powerful? Or are you more interested in how much money you've accumulated and how much, how many people are attached to you and how much of your ego is getting boosted? Because people are very interested in these things when they are not aware that they are a soul. So this is something that Baba is asking us to do today. Baba says that you yourselves repeatedly have to have the faith that you are souls. I, a soul, am claiming my inheritance from the Father. This is the only time throughout the whole cycle to do this. This is the only time when you have access to Baba and you can actually, truly, genuinely, practically fill yourself with what Baba is giving you. This is the beautiful confluence age of this cycle, It is called the most elevated age. This is the conference age in which all human beings become the most elevated. So let us check all through the day whether I am acting according to the knowledge of who I am and what time it is. So Baba has given us the knowledge that this is the only time to accumulate what you will need all through the cycle. This is the only time to be with Baba, experience the relationship with Baba as a father, as a parent, as a teacher, as a Satguru. And Baba says, check whether you're making the most of it or not. Yes, and there is this thing that people think that meditation is some sort of technique. Yes, so people say, I want to learn the technique of meditation. So meditation is not any technique. Meditation is communion of the soul with Baba. And this communion is possible, is sustainable only when you understand you are a soul, and when you have this deep feeling that you belong to Baba, and the deep realization that you have to take your inheritance from Baba. So when you have the realization that I am a soul, I belong to Baba, and whenever I am in remembrance of Baba, I am filling the apron of my buddhi with the knowledge, the purity, the peace, the love, the powers that I need for the next cycle. Then that kind of pushes you to stay more in that state of communion, and through that communion you become who you were. You go back to being your original form. So that is meditation. Meditation is no technique. Meditation is not even about some bulb light connecting to a light. So, sometimes you think of yourself as a light connecting to a bigger light. But until and unless we understand that this is me and that is Baba, and what that light stands for is peace and purity and love, it doesn't make any sense. So there is no way to show a soul, to depict a soul, or there is no way to depict the qualities of peace and love and happiness and purity and joy. So we use this depiction of a light. But it's not about the light, it's about the qualities, and it's about the soul and the supreme soul. So when you sit in the awareness that I'm a soul and I'm sitting before my Baba, the parent of I, the soul, and what I need is purity, love, peace, joy, happiness, power. And Baba is giving me all of that in the form of light. And I'm soaking that into myself and becoming an embodiment of those qualities. So it's not just light, it's also the interpretation associated with it, or the realization of what is the light of Baba and what is the light that you're drawing in. That's important. If you just sit and you just absorb, you think that you're sitting in front of the light, you might as well sit in front of a bulb light. Yes, if you physically sit in front of a bulb light, does that change how you feel or how you respond to situations? No. So it's not about the physical light, or it's not just about seeing yourself as a light and seeing Baba as a light. It's about what that light means and how you interpret it. So it is the light of peace, it is the light of purity, it's the light of love. So you see, when you sit before the sun gives you light, but that light is giving you warmth, and you feel the warmth. Yes, so that light has a feeling of warmth. It's a physical feeling which you experience through the senses. It's not something that your senses cannot detect. But when you sit before the spiritual sun, Baba, then Baba is giving you knowledge, Baba is giving you peace, purity. And that is something that your body can't feel. But you, the soul, can become very aware of the purity that Baba is sending in the form of light waves or light rays. And that purity is becoming a part of you, and you are becoming an embodiment of that purity. And another thing here is that when I sit before Baba, then I have to understand that this is the only time when I have access to Baba, and I have to claim my full inheritance. So the next 84 births, I have to be on my own. So this is the time to fill. And if we are in this awareness of the time and of Baba's presence, then we will always be interested not to be in front of people and places. Even when you are in a certain place in front of a certain person, you will always like to be in front of Baba and fill yourself as much as you can. Just like these days, you're very interested in charging your mobile as soon as you get a charging point. Yes, so you don't even need a charging point. The charging point is always available. So you can just fill yourself n number of times during the day as long as you want. It could be a continuous thing also. So Baba says, be very interested in this and know that you are a soul, and now you have to go back. Now another thing that Baba says today is that Baba is making us ready to rule a kingdom. Yes, and let me read out that for you. So the question today is, with what sanskar are you filling yourself by taking Shrimat from the Father? So the answer is the sanskar of ruling a whole kingdom in the future without the need of an advisor. You have come here to receive Shrimat for ruling your future kingdom. The Father is giving you such Shrimat that there won't be any need for you to take advice from anyone for half the cycle. It is those whose intellects are weak who need to seek advice. Yes, so yesterday I was talking to a brother who is into business, and he said that he needs some help these days as the business is expanding. And he said that he cannot take that help until he first slogs himself. He has to really work for 10 or 20 years so that he gets a hold of whatever that business entails. So he said that I should know everything, every nitty-gritty of the business before I can take some help, because if I want to rule, then I should be in a position where I know everything and I have experience and expertise. And I cannot depend on other people advising me for my business. So first let me slog myself, let me acquaint myself with every integrity, and then I can be a king, and I can have employees, I can have people, and I can still rule. Otherwise I'll not be able to rule. Yes, so I like that very much. And I was thinking about this thing that Baba says today about ruling the whole kingdom without an advisor. Now, when you rule the whole kingdom without an advisor, so you are in a position where you don't need an advisor. So think about how much of skills and how much of virtues you need to be able to do that. So Baba always says that the qualification of a Satyugi king is Sarva Gun Sampann, that means full of all virtues. Sola Kala Sampoon, which means you are proficient in every way. So everything you do is excellent. So you are perfect in every action. So you smile, the smile is perfect. You walk, the walk is perfect. You dance, the dance is perfect. Everything that you do is perfect. That's Sola Kala Sampoon. And then Sampoon Nirvikari, you're completely viceless. Maryada Purushottam, that is, you know the boundaries. So nobody tells you do this, don't do that. You know the boundaries. And then Ahimsa Paramo Dharma, you are non-violent, completely non-violent. Now Baba says that I'm giving you Shrimat, which will enable you to be a king. And what does Shrimat make you? Shrimat makes you these 5 things which we just talked about. Sarvagun Sampanna, Sola Kala Sampoon, Sampoon Nirvikari, Maryada Purushottam, Ahimsa Paramo Dharma. So if I start explaining these 5 things, it will be a whole session and whole lot more than that, but still I'll try to explain some of it. Let's take Maryada Purushottam. So Baba is giving us the boundary about what to think, how much to think, how to think. Yes. So earlier we didn't have a boundary here. Did we have it? Yes, when I conduct the course, there are so many souls who ask me this question that I overthink and I don't know how to not overthink. And do you understand why you overthink? Because you're thinking about things you can't control. Yes, you're thinking about things you can't control. You're thinking about situations you can't control. And when you start thinking about what is not in your control, you will obviously end up overthinking. Yes, and why do you think about things that are not in your control? Because you are attached to them. Because you are attached to them. So the defining quality of attachment is you do extra. So when you're attached to something, you do extra. And in Ramayana, there is a mention of one of the signs of Kali Yuga being that the cow will lick his calf so much that it will end up causing hurt to it. Yes, so Licking more than necessary is a sign of Kali Yuga. And that's a sign of attachment. And this is what we do when we are in attachment. We overthink, overdo. Yes, and Baba says that you don't have a maryada. So when you are in attachment, you don't know how much to think. You think more than necessary. You speak more than necessary. You do more than necessary. Yes, and that is what puts you in karmic debt. So when you're soul conscious means you rebuild, recreate that awareness all the time, that I am a soul and nothing here belongs to me. I just have to do my duty, and your duty is to give what they need, not what they want. You give a situation what they need. You give your boss what they need, not what they want. Yes, you give everyone what they need. So as a soul, everybody needs love, respect, happiness, peace. Yes, you give them that. And in any relationship, you give them what they need according to the contract you are in, not what they want, because they might want more than what they need, and then they will start piling on you because you become their source. Yes, so this is something you have to discern. So when you give someone more than what they need, then they don't become independent, they become dependent. And when you give them what they need, they become independent. Yes, so in child psychology, they say that when a child is born, then they need care, love, attention, everything. So in the formative years, if you don't have a parent, you suffer because that's what you need. But then if you continue being a parent, an overpowering parent, after a certain age, that also sabotages the growth of the child. So giving in the time of need and then withdrawing when it's not required is both very important. So when you are taught to ride a bicycle, what do your parents do? They hold it for you, and they make you, get your grip, and then they leave you. So you have to have somebody who holds you when you need and then let you go when you want. But then if you are not appreciative of that, then you keep overdoing it. And that's where the problem arises. Similarly, in terms of planning, Baba says that you plan and then become plain buddhi. So it's not that you don't need to think about anything. You need to think about things. Even if you have to clean a place, you have to think about where to start and how to move to cleaning it all. But then after that, you don't have to overdo it, because if you overdo the thinking, then probably you don't even pick the broom and you just go to sleep after thinking too much because you're too tired. So Baba says that you have to, this is Maryada. And this is the Maryada that Baba is teaching us. And Baba is teaching us this Maryada by teaching us how to be free from attachment to the body, attachment to souls, attachment to work, attachment to relationships, attachment to the situations and objects. So when you are unattached, you are Maryada Purushottam. Yes, and then And also, when you are one thing is you overdo it. Another thing is you in attachment you sometimes don't do the needful. Yes, so somebody needs to, so you don't say what you need to say because you are attached and you are very cautious whether they'll get hurt. Yes, so Baba says that all of these problems arise when you are attached. So, do you understand how Baba is teaching us to rule a kingdom? So, he's teaching us how to give our 100% and um, about this Sola Kala Sampan, which is proficient in all aspects. What I have learned by living in a center, so after I came to Baba and I started living in a center and I started doing things, I realized that you have to do everything, from administration to management to speaking to cleaning to cooking to everything. And Baba says, never say that I can't do something. So Baba says, you give your 100% to everything. And when you give your 100% and you have Baba's help, then Baba makes you skilled in everything. So every skill you can develop in this Sangam Yuga. So you have to become 100% skilled. And there is this incident from Sakar Baba's days, and when Baba was here in the corporeal form, then there is an incident where Nirmal Shantamani Dadiji, who was Brahma Baba's Lokik daughter, was sitting, and then somebody came to her and said that my slippers have broken and my slipper is not working well, so could you fix that? So he just not even fixed that, he just told Dadi that the slipper is broken. Then Dadi said that, why are you telling this to me? You go and tell the cobbler that the slipper needs to be mended. And then Baba was sitting there and Baba said, you are going to be Vishwa Maharani and you don't even know what the cobbler knows. So if you don't even have the knowledge that a cobbler has, how will you become Vishwa Maharani? So then Dadi learned how to mend a slipper. And Gulzar Dadiji says, until a very old age, Gulzar Dadiji used to say that I can dismantle a whole bicycle and put it together. And Dadis knew how to drive trucks and everything. So Baba says that when you are in seva and you want to be a deity, never say, I can't do this. Yes, if something has come up for the first time, you say Hanji and do it. And you learn a new kala by doing that. So Baba says this is how you become Sola Kala Sampoon. And this is why, it's when you are a Sevadhari, you are a Sevadhari. You don't say, I am a Sevadhari and my area is this. No, my department is this. No, there is no department Sevadhari. So, in Madhuban also, you will be suddenly picked from one department and put in another. Yes, and yesterday I was talking to another sister, and she's in a PSU, and she said that in my PSU there is this rule that you place a person where they don't fit in the first 3 years, so that they learn what they don't know. But what happens is, these days, children don't appreciate that. So when they clear the gate exam and then they have a good score, they go and find a placement, then they don't want to be in a department which is not their area of strength, their area of weakness. They want to be in a department where they have stronghold, and otherwise they exit. There are many there are people who, there is high attrition rate because of that, and then the PSU has to change the policy now, and they are trying to place the new incumbents where they fit in. But then that sister was telling me that it's not a good thing, because if you don't learn what you don't know, how do you upgrade yourself? If you only keep doing what you know, then it's of no use. So, do you pay attention to learning what you don't know, or are you more interested in keeping doing what you know already? So, if you just continue doing what you know already, it's not going to add to your skill set. So, keep doing whatever comes your way. That's the way to become Sola Kala Sampoorn. Never say that I've never done this. So whenever you are in a situation, invoke Baba. And I remember Usha Didiji was once sharing a very beautiful example. She said that whenever I'm given a task that I've done before, I'm happy. But whenever I'm given a task which I've never done before, I'm happier. Because when I do something that I have already done earlier, I sometimes forget Baba. Yes, because sometimes you know things, so you don't keep Baba in your awareness a lot, because you have that confidence that I know it. But when you don't know something, you are always remembering Baba. Baba, be with me. Baba, guide me. Baba, this shouldn't go wrong. Baba, you should dictate how to do it. So, A is it helps you stay in remembrance, and B is Baba teaches you something that you didn't know. And you come out being more confident than ever, because now you know something that you didn't earlier know. So, Baba teaches us this art, and every Brahmin child should have this attitude, because we are aiming to be Sola Kala Sampoorn. And then Baba says, be Sampoorn Nirvikari, which is no vice at all inside of you. Because you know what vices do? They swerve your decisions. So whenever we talk about the buddhi, so the buddhi has a straight, that measuring kata. The scales are balanced when that kata is in place. Yes, that arrow is in place. And it is said that whenever you are under the sway of vices, then you don't make good decisions. Yes, so your decisions, your scales are not balanced. You get emotional, and your decision gets tilted towards something. So Baba says, make an effort to be Sampoorn Nirvikari. And how do you do that? So Baba has given us these three things: Nirakari, Nirvikari, Nirhankari. So it starts with Nirakari. So when you consider yourself to be a bodiless soul, then a bodiless soul is free from attachment. And the more you stay in this awareness of being a bodiless soul, and in the awareness of your aim to become pure and go back, the more you will be away from the sway of vices. And when vices get a hold of you, then your decisions go bad. So you make decisions under the influence of greed or attachment or ego or lust, and then those decisions put you in a position of sorrow, and all that happens because you don't practice being nirakari. So when you practice being nirakari, you become nirvikari. So Baba says that these are the things, you see, Sarvagun Sampanna, Sola Kala Sampurn, Sampurn Nirvikari, Maryada Purushottam and Ahimsa Parmo Dharma. When you are in this state, then you can rule a whole kingdom without any advice from anyone. And this is what we are becoming now by following Srimad. And Baba is giving us directions about what to become and how to become. But the thing that remains is you become by doing what he says. And then in the blessing today, Baba is talking about giving regard. And let me read out the blessing. Baba says, whether someone is young or old, definitely give regard to each one's advice, because to reject anyone's advice means to reject yourself. Therefore, even when you have to cut someone off from speaking waste, first of all, give regard to them, give respect, and then give the correction. This is the correct method. When you are filled with the sanskar of giving regard in this way, you will then receive regard from the world. For this, be a master and a child and a master. Let your intellect be in the unlimited, full of benevolent wishes. Now, what does this mean? So sometimes you are in a situation where somebody is saying things that you don't agree with. Yes? But Baba says, when you don't agree with someone's opinion, don't forget who you are. You are a soul who gives regard. So you don't reject their opinion, because when you reject their opinion, it is like rejecting who you are. Because you are a soul who doesn't reject. Do you know one of the prominent qualities of Baba, Sakar Baba, was he never rejected. So there was once this Mata, and she came with her son, and she told Baba that my son is good for nothing. And if I send him to do some work, what he does is, he doesn't do that work, and he only takes a stroll in the open grazeland, and he just comes back after that stroll. He doesn't do that work, so he's good for nothing. So Baba, why don't you keep him? And if you keep him, I will be full of gratitude to you because you are keeping someone who is of no use. And you know, Baba didn't reject that child. Baba said, yes, welcome. And then Baba also made the best of him. So Baba never rejects. The quality of a deity soul is you never reject anyone. Never reject anything. You understand that there is value in everything, and you have the eye to see that value. And Baba says, even if you can't see the value, at least don't stop being yourself. So you be in your Swaman that I don't reject, and then you listen to them with regard, and even if you have to give them some correction, you place them in their Swaman. And how do you place them in their Swaman? By reminding them that they are valuable. And even if their opinion is not accepted this time, it doesn't mean that they don't matter. Yes, so by giving regard, even if you want to give a correction, give regard and then give the correction. Okay, so this is what Baba says in the blessing today. Om Shanti. Let's thank Baba for some time.